and welcome back, Fired Addicts, to another episode of Travis Does Fire. Today we're going to go over why I got this saw. Alright, so raise your hand if you were right. That's right, folks. Stihl MS400C. I think the ad said MS400C-M, which I don't think it makes a difference. But there she is, the new saw. You saw it cut again. I think the chain got a little bit dull, but when I first ran it earlier in the week and you saw the episode, this thing was ripping. It was ripping good time, and it has enough power just to be fun, but I don't feel like I'm in danger, which is a good thing. I don't feel like I'm gonna be pulled to the log too much, and I feel like I can handle the power. Let's get into some specs, because I think you're interested or you already know. But for those who don't, I'm just going to go over a few things that I gained from the dealer who sold it to me. So, yeah, so MS400, this thing weighs 12.8 pounds. Okay, we're going to compare it to the 372 XP in a minute, just weight-wise. It feels good balance-wise. And yes, I went with a 25-inch bar, a 25-inch light bar, just to give me a little bit more weight reduction, because that 372 clone it's like a boat anchor, and I opted for a 28-inch bar on that bad boy, and it's a beast. It's a beast, and I know a lot of you follow BBR's stance on stand up and buck, and that I get, but it all depends on what you're doing and how long you're going to be bucking for it. If you're going to be bucking for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe an hour, sure, that's great. Run a big saw, run a long bar, and get it done. But if you're going to be bucking the entire day, I think you're not going to run a big monster head and a big ass bar. It's just that's a lot of weight. That's a whole lot of work. So you're gonna have to weigh the pros and cons there, right? So I shaved off a little bit of weight on the light bar. I think that was a good call. I opted for a regular, whatever cheapest bar I can find on my clone saw, I paid the price for it. This thing out the door is 66.8 cc's, so it's almost at 70 cc's. So when I was at the dealer, it was between this saw and the MS 462 RCM, okay, which is gonna be around $400 more of a saw, okay, but you only gain, this says it's at 72.2 cc's, so you gain 6 cc's for $400. I don't think that makes sense. And then the 462 is 13.9 pounds, so you're gaining a pound of saw, right? So I was looking it up, and yes, it would be great to have a 500i. I think that all of us dream of one, want one, and if you have one, you want one more just because you can, right? And I think that'd be cool, but it was just not in the budget. So I went to the dealer, and I told him, here's what I do, here's what I want, here's more or less my budget. What do you think? And he had like a dozen steel saws ready to go, ready to be sold on his wall there, right? So he said, "Why this? I recommend these two." So between this one and the other saw I mentioned, and I weighed the pros and cons. Cost was a factor. Yes, this was with tax over $1,000. In my wood yard is a big expense. I mentioned before on the channel, I'm very cheap. I buy used. I want to fix stuff and maintain it, but sometimes like just the hassle of me fiddling with the clone saw day in day out each time was just wearing and tearing. Where this one, it's brand new. I pull the cord, I cut, and I go. If there's any issues, there's a warranty. Okay, I take it in the shop and they take care of me, and that there's something to be said for that. Okay, there's something to be said for that. So I went to a steel dealer. Now, why didn't I go Husky? Well, there are several Husky dealers in my area. This one was, in terms of proximity, similar miles, but the shop has a reputation in my local area. It's in a town that is a logging town and has been a logging town for decades, and all the local loggers, all the pros, they go to this shop. Okay, so the shop has a reputation and have a name, and people know them, and they take care of their customers. So that's where I went there. I am not brand loyal, but you have sometimes have to go with a shop that you like and or is close to you. You may be a steel guy your entire life, but then you moved, and the local shop to you is going to be a Husqvarna. Well, maybe you changed then to Husqvarna. They're all going to be the same. They're all good saws. ACCO, Husqvarna, steel, they're all good saws. You can't go wrong, in my opinion. Okay, and I have run all three of those in my wood yard. I am told that this is the Pro chain due to this yellow link right here. I forget the name of it, but if you know more, let me know. So I hope that's a good thing. Per specs for steel, they do not make a full wrap handle for this saw. I don't think I would ever need a full wrap handle, but if I had one, I'm sure that it would be cool. But steel does not make one, so you have to modify one to make one yourself. I'm sure that would be doable. I'm not saying to anyone out there, make me one and send it to me. No, I'll just, if we can find one, I may buy it and then modify my saw with it. As of right now, I don't have any plans for the saw. I don't know if you could port it. I don't think I want to port it. I think the bar length is fine. I broke it in. The dealer said to run it for half a tank or full tank and just run it at idle. And once in a while, do a little blip, 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 and then let it run at idle until the gas is done, and then that's a debreaking in period. So I mentioned that this is 66.8 cc's, and it has 5.4 bhp, brake horsepower, okay? And if you don't know what that is, Google it, but it was like 0.4 more or less than the other saw that was gonna be more money. So I think with the price difference, this was a good choice. With the carburetor in here, so this is not a compression valve right here that you can punch to be able to start it. It's not fancy auto tune, jet drive, whatever. But I'm told that there's a computer in here that you want to let it idle. When you start it, let it run, let it figure out the surroundings, the temperature, the humidity, all that stuff, and then you're ready to go. When you're done cutting, set it down, let it idle for a few minutes, let it kind of decompress, cool down and think and chill. But everything is in here. Everything in here is fine. So if I have any issues, I take it to the shop, and they dial me in, and I'm good to go. There's no, from what I understand from the dealer, there's no more fiddling around. So I think at the price point, that's one less headache that I don't have to deal with. Okay, so that's just my opinion on that. So no more fiddling around the carbs, at least this one. So that's awesome. They have a captive crossover nut here for the bar, so these nuts don't come off. You don't lose them in the snow, in the dirt, in the mud. They're on there forever. That's cool. These dogs look kind of puny. I mean, you switch them out if possible, but I don't know if I need to or not. The air filter apparently is where you can clean it and then reuse it type thing, so that's kind of cool. I appreciate that. You know, when you go to the dealer or the local hardware store, they have saws. They'll be like from like homeowner to like lawn care to like pro grade. This apparently is pro grade saw. I'm not a professional by any means, but due to the level and performance, I think that this is going to fit well in my wood yard. So I think I went over most of the things that I wanted to cover. I think the main thing is dealer close to you and or you like them, make sure that you have one and use that, and to not be so picky type thing with the saw. Why I bought this is another question. I have a job coming up. I need to buck up a whole bunch of logs, and it's gonna be like a wham bam, thank you ma'am type deal. I want to get it done and over with, and I needed a saw that had the power and would be reliable. Okay, so that's why I wrote down, and we got this, and I hope it's gonna be one of those forever saws. Take care of it, and it'll take care of you type thing. And I think it'd be worth every penny. I'm very excited to have this in my wood yard. It has the caps on here that come out and you twist, and it's not too cumbersome. I do like this saw. I think it's gonna be cool. Let me stop right now and stop yakking. I want to use this scale right here. Use this scale. It got wet. It was a really weird day for weather-wise today. I want to weigh and compare the 400 and the 372 clone, just to give you a comparison. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, but just a comparison, okay? To weigh it with the 25-inch bar. I don't know if you see that or not, but it says 17 pounds, 6.23 ounces. Clone saw here on the scale, 21.7. So whatever specs the for the manufacturer, that would also be dry and with no bar on it. So it's several. I'm not sure how accurate that mailbox a scale is, but it definitely a difference. I think with the weight, with the ratio, doing this with that long bar on that clone, that's a factor. Okay, that's definitely a factor. I think I got that dialed in enough to run the clone, so it would be like an in tandem saw. When one gets dull, I switch over, possibly. Definitely a difference of power and bar length. So if I have bigger logs, the clone. If I have ones that are medium size or smaller, run to this one here, just to buck them up and get the job done. Move on to splitting so you can stack and get that wood dry. So that's the story of the saw. I hope it made sense. I hope this is informative. I am not saying go out to the store and buy one. If you can afford it and you need a new saw, go ahead. Sure, please, thank you. Yeah, that'd be great. But don't bend over backwards or don't go into more debt and buy this saw that you don't really need or can't afford. Don't go way beyond your means. That's crazy. I do want to thank my buddy Brandon up in Alaska. I was able to call him when I was at the dealer to ask advice. Granted, he's more of a Husqvarna guy than a Stihl guy, but I think he knows enough to point me in their direction. I think this was a good buy, and I just wanted to recognize him. He does have his own channel. He just put out a new video, so go ahead and check him out. I'll leave his channel down in the description. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about the saw in the comments. I'll try to answer them. I'm glad the rain stopped for a second where I could do this episode for you. I don't mind the wind. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Till next time, remember, life's too short to be a prick, so be kind to one another. Rock and roll. Stay safe, you cutting. Cheers.